All right, what's up again? Another lesson. So, what are the top threats in cyber? So the way you could kind of break it down is you get two type of attacks. It's either going to be active or passive. In an active attack versus the passive, the active, the hackers are actually going to try to force their way into an account. So it's kind of like going in completely raw into a foreign territory. You're just trying different methods to get people. And this is a much more difficult method. It's way less attacked because it's very easy to recognize if somebody's been trying to hack you. So, like for example, on your email, one of the ways we stop active emails is if you put the wrong account in or the wrong password in more than like 4 or 5 times, the computer automatically shuts itself down. That's to stop from active attacks to constantly just keep retrying passwords and running code to be able to take your password. Passive is going to be the more common. So 99% of cyber attacks that you see are from passive information that people got. And this is typically hackers who use a technique known as phishing. And all phishing is they'll put out like an email like, "Hey, your mom died. Please send money." Blah blah blah. It'll be stuff like that. That's an example of passive hacking, and it's very dangerous because a lot of people are getting got with these things. But anyway, all threats can only happen between a line of a network. So as long as there's connection between two computers, there is a possibility for a hacker to be able to get into it. Now, if a hacker is operating in say like a landline where it's just two computers connected, it'd be very difficult to hack that because the hacker would have to go into either, especially if they're not connected to the internet, the hacker would have to go into either one or two to be able to get the information from the other computer. So in that example, it'd be pretty easy to identify who's the culprit and where the weak point is. So most hackers don't do that. Most hackers typically attack networks or like cloud-based networks or systems that use the internet because those systems that use the internet have weak points. And see, the joints are much more difficult to get to because, the joints are much easier to access because there's a bunch of points where the hacker, if he's good, can actually intersect and catch information between this point or whatever point. And the same thing works with like networks in office buildings. If they have a router or a switch, which is like just a giant place for computers to be able to connect and communicate with each other. A hacker, if it's difficult, but once again, it all depends on how the hacker can get an access point. So if the hacker can get into the building and connect into the system, they could hack into your database and be able to pull files, but that would be much more difficult because the hacker also be a very good thief. But essentially, most hacking is done through the internet via phishing, and there's only two types of threats you have to deal with, either an active or a passive account, and most people are getting got by passive. So the Nigerian scammer is a real thing. People actually get got.